provide services wherever, whichever doorway the person chooses. And I'm just really grateful to the initiatives that SAMHSA and the federal government have supported around the Access to Recovery program, the Recovery Community Support programs that fostered this peer-to-peer interaction where there are non-traditional approaches. But that creating that peer-to-peer interaction, I think, is just so critical. Now, it's not a slight on the academics or the clinical or the treatment professional, but there's that empathy factor between one person that has experienced this helping another person. And I think we need to promote more of that. So I'm a big believer that money isn't the answer to everything, but I believe that SAMHSA hit on something when they were funding those type
and
programs.
in doing so, those individuals that are helping each other, maybe they can help each other on the language front as well. As how do they view themselves and how to. I want to go back to John. John, talk to me about some of the articles where people can access more information. If I wanted to learn more about this, you mentioned that you had authored some articles that may be helpful.
Well, yeah, the question is which terms, if we're not going to use certain terms, what terms should we recommend and advocate for? And I know Daphne has written a lot about this, and also Bill White. I published a paper in 2004 in the Alcoholism Treatment Quarterly, which actually talks a lot about the issue of terminology and how it may affect, how it's imprecise. For example, we use the term abuse generically, but also it's a diagnostic label. It's actually a DSM diagnostic label, which creates a lot of confusion when you see it written. Are they referring to the more generic issue, regarding the whole range of problems, versus a particular diagnosis, okay, that has a specific meaning? So it's imprecisely used, and this is a problem, of course, in communication. So one of the things that I think we need to have a term that describes these problems generically.
And the Institute of Medicine has tried to deal with that, have they not?
Yes, and the World Health Organization too. So in the 1970s, they were advocating against using the term abuse, even though the American Psychiatric Association adopted that term, which is unfortunate because then that gives rise to the term abuser naturally. And that was the warning actually back in the 70s that was saying this is what's going to happen, is that you're going to generate this term by using that term.
So what do we replace that with?
So there are a couple of things that I see, and I wrote about in that paper and papers since then, is to use, for example, if someone has a diagnosable substance use disorder, to use that term, substance use disorder. If we're talking about it generically, we might refer to individuals with a substance-related problem or substance-related condition. Another term in other countries that have been used is substance misuse. So the misuse of a particular drug or alcohol. And so these are three terms: substance-related problem or substance-related condition. Again, person first, it's an individual with a substance-related problem or substance-related condition. Substance misuse as opposed to abuse, then that doesn't give rise to that negative connotation regarding abuser. And then substance use disorder. As I mentioned before, eating disorders, no problem. Everybody refers to them as eating disorders, not as food abusers. And I think we should do the same with substance use disorders.
Well, I've certainly enjoyed dealing with this subject matter today. And I want to remind folks that National Alcohol and Drug Addiction Recovery Month does work to reduce the discrimination associated with individuals in recovery and those that need to go into treatment. Is celebrated every September. We certainly hope that you have learned that during this month, we not only have to use the right language, but we have to embrace the whole concept of support for those in recovery and those who need treatment and their families within their community. So I want to thank you for being here. It's been a terrific show. Thank you.
For a copy of this program or other programs in the Road to Recovery series, call SAMHSA at 1-800-662-HELP or order online at recoverymonth.gov and click Multimedia. Every September, National Alcohol and Drug Addiction Recovery Month provides an opportunity for communities like yours to raise awareness of alcohol and drug use disorders and highlight the effectiveness of treatment. In order to help you plan events and activities in commemoration of this year's Recovery Month observance, the free Recovery Month Kit offers ideas, materials, and tools for planning, organizing, and realizing an event or outreach campaign that matches your goals and resources. To obtain your copy of this year's Recovery Month Kit and gain access to other free publications and materials related to addiction treatment and recovery issues, visit the Recovery Month website at www.recoverymonth.gov or call 1-800-662-HELP. It's important that everyone become involved because addiction is our nation's #1 health problem and treatment is our best tool to address it.